First contact, the vast emptiness of space, had always called to humanity. For centuries we gazed at the stars, wondering what secrets they held. In the year 2157, we finally got our answer. It started as a faint whisper, barely distinguishable from the cosmic background radiation. But as Earth's most powerful radio telescopes focused on the signal, it grew stronger. A pattern emerged, not random noise, but a deliberate message. Humanity held its breath as linguists and scientists worked tirelessly to decipher the alien transmission. Dr. Samantha Chen, lead xenolinguist at NASA, was the first to crack the code. Her eyes widened as the message became clear. Help us, they are coming. Within days, the United Earth Space Agency, ESA, convened an emergency meeting. Admiral James Harrison, a veteran of the Mars colonization missions, addressed the assembly. Ladies and gentlemen, we stand at a crossroads in human history. An alien civilization has reached out to us, pleading for help. We have the technology, we have the will, and now we have the responsibility to answer that call. The decision was unanimous. Earth would launch its first interstellar mission. The UESA Starship Hope, a marvel of human engineering, was quickly retrofitted for the journey. Its antimatter drive, originally designed for exploration of the outer solar system, would now carry humanity beyond the stars. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. She addressed her crew, a hand-picked team of Earth's finest. We embark on a mission unlike any other. We carry with us the hopes and dreams of our entire species. Whatever we find out there, we face it together. As the Hope breached the heliopause, leaving the warm embrace of Sol behind, the crew felt the weight of their responsibility. They were no longer just explorers, they were Earth's first ambassadors to the stars. Weeks turned into months as the Hope traversed the interstellar void. The alien signal grew stronger, guiding them towards their destination. Finally, after 237 days of travel, they entered an unfamiliar solar system. Captain, we're picking up multiple artificial structures in orbit around the third planet, reported Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka, the ship's sensor officer. Life signs? Captain Rodriguez asked, leaning forward in her chair. Affirmative. Billions of them. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. They weren't just making first contact, they were arriving at a world teeming with alien life. As the Hope approached the planet, a transmission cut through the silence. The universal translator, based on Dr. Chen's groundbreaking work, processed the alien language in real time. Unknown vessel, you have entered Zarthax space. Please identify yourselves. Captain Rodriguez took a deep breath. This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Earth ship Hope. We come in peace, answering your call for help. There was a long pause before the reply came. Earth ship Hope, you are cleared for approach. Welcome to Zarthax Prime. As the Hope entered orbit, the crew got their first glimpse of the Zarthax. Holographic projections showed beings that looked almost plant-like, with iridescent bark-like skin and leaf-like appendages. Their cities were marvels of organic architecture, seamlessly blending with the lush forests that covered much of the planet. A delegation of Zarthax leaders met the human crew in a grand hall made of living wood. The alien beings towered over the humans, their bodies swaying gently like trees in a breeze. High Chancellor Xylos, the apparent leader of the Zarthax, addressed the human delegation. Travelers from Earth, we thank you for answering our distress call. For centuries, we have lived in peace, nurturing our world and reaching for the stars. But now, a great darkness threatens to extinguish our light. Captain Rodriguez stepped forward. High Chancellor, we've come to offer our assistance. Can you tell us more about this threat? Xylos' leaves rustled, a sign of distress. They call themselves the Void Hunters. They are a race of beings that thrive on destruction, consuming entire worlds to fuel their terrible machines. Our long-range sensors detected their approach months ago. We are a peaceful people. We have no weapons, no means to defend ourselves. Dr. Chen, part of the away team, spoke up. But your technology, it's incredible. Surely you have some way to protect yourselves. Our technology is based on harmony with nature, Xylos explained. We can grow cities, heal the sick, and travel between stars. But we have never had reason to create weapons of war. The concept is alien to us. Captain Rodriguez felt a chill run down her spine. The Zarthax was so advanced in some ways, yet so vulnerable in others. It was clear why they had called for help. "High Chancellor," she said, her voice firm with resolve, "humanity stands with you. We may be new to the galactic stage, but we have a long history of defending ourselves and others. We will do everything in our power to protect your people." Silos' leaves changed color, shifting to a warm golden hue. "Your words bring hope to our hearts, Captain, but I must warn you, the Void Hunters are unlike anything you have ever faced. Their technology is beyond even our understanding." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the hall. A young Zarthax burst into the room, leaves quivering in panic. "High Chancellor, long-range sensors have detected a Void Hunter scout ship entering the system." The human crew exchanged worried glances. They had hoped for more time to prepare, to understand their new allies and the threat they faced. But it seemed the universe had other plans. Captain Rodriguez turned to her crew. "We knew the risks when we embarked on this mission. Now it's time to show the galaxy what humanity is made of." She faced the Zarthax leaders, her expression determined. "High Chancellor, we need to pool our resources. Your knowledge of the local space and our combat experience might be our only chance." Xylos nodded, his massive form seeming to stand even taller. "Agreed, Captain. Let us hope that the combined strength of our peoples will be enough to face the coming storm." As the Zarthax and humans rushed to prepare their defenses, Captain Rodriguez couldn't help but feel a mix of fear and exhilaration. Humanity had dreamed of this moment for centuries. First contact, alien allies, a grand threat to face. Little did they know, this was just the beginning. The true test of humanity's resolve, ingenuity, and courage lay ahead. The battle for Zarthax Prime, and perhaps the fate of the galaxy, was about to begin. The Alliance. The news of the approaching Void Hunter scout ship sent shockwaves through both the human crew and the Zarthax population. As the two species raced against time to prepare their defenses, an unlikely alliance began to form. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood in the Hope's war room, surrounded by holographic displays of Zarthax Prime and the surrounding space. Her crew worked alongside Zarthax scientists. The stark contrast between human uniforms and the aliens' leafy forms a vivid reminder of the unprecedented nature of their cooperation. "What's our status?" Elena asked, her voice cutting through the busy chatter. Dr. Samantha Chen, hunched over a console with a Zarthax scientist, looked up. "Captain, we've made significant progress in integrating our systems with Zarthax technology. It's remarkable. Their organic computers are incredibly advanced, but they've never been used for military applications." Lieutenant Commander Marcus Wong, the Hope's tactical officer, chimed in. "We've begun retrofitting some of our defensive systems onto Zarthax orbital platforms. It's not much, but it should give us an early warning system at the very least." Elena nodded, a grim smile on her face. "Good work, everyone, but we need more. The Void Hunters are coming, and we need every advantage we can get." As if on cue, High Chancellor Xylos entered the room, his towering form ducking slightly to pass through the human-sized doorway. "Captain Rodriguez, we may have found something that could help us." All eyes turned to the Zarthax leader as he continued. "Our archaeologists have uncovered ancient records speaking of a time when our ancestors faced a great threat from the stars. They speak of weapons, terrible, powerful weapons, that were sealed away after the threat was defeated." A murmur ran through the room. Dr. Chen's eyes widened. "Chancellor, are you saying your people once had the capacity for warfare?" Xylos reached out, his leafy appendage trembling slightly as he touched the sphere. Instantly, his entire body lit up with a blinding light. When it faded, the Zarthax leader looked different. His form was more defined, his colors more vivid. I understand now, he said, his voice resonating with newfound power. This is not a weapon, it's knowledge. The collected wisdom and technological understanding of our ancestors. He turned to Captain Rodriguez, his eyes glowing with an inner light. Captain, with this knowledge, we can fight the Void Hunters. We can save our worlds. But the price, it will change us forever. Are we ready for that? Helena looked at her crew, at the Zarthax team members, and then back at Silos. In that moment, she knew that whatever came next would reshape the destiny of both their species. We're ready, she said firmly. Whatever it takes, we'll face it together. As they prepared to return to the city with their newfound power, alarms blared from their communication devices. Lieutenant Wang's voice came through, tight with urgency. Captain, you need to get back here now. The Void Hunters, they're coming. A whole fleet of them. We have less than 48 hours before they reach Zarthax Prime. The race against time had begun. With the power of the Ancients in their hands and the threat of annihilation looming, the human Zarthax alliance faced its greatest test. The battle for survival was about to begin, and the fate of two worlds hung in the balance. The return journey from the Vault of the Ancients was a blur of urgency and preparation. Captain Elena Rodriguez and High Chancellor Xylos, now imbued with the knowledge of the Zarthax ancestors, worked tirelessly to ready their forces for the impending Void Hunter invasion. As they approached the gleaming spires of the Zarthax capital, Elena couldn't help but marvel at the transformation taking place. The once peaceful city was now a hive of activity, organic structures reshaping themselves into defensive formations under the guidance of Silos and his newly empowered council. The UESA Starship Hope hung in low orbit, its hull bristling with hastily mounted Zarthax biotech enhancements. It was a testament to the rapid integration of human and Zarthax technologies, a fusion of metal and living matter that seemed to pulse with potential. On the bridge of the Hope, Elena addressed her crew and the Zarthax leaders. The Void Hunters will be here in less than 24 hours. Thanks to the ancient knowledge, we've made incredible progress, but we're still outnumbered and outgunned. This will be the fight of our lives. Silos, his form now shimmering with an inner light, stepped forward. We have unlocked powers our people had forgotten for millennia, but the price of this knowledge is high. Each use of these abilities drains our life force. We must use them wisely. Dr. Samantha Chen, her eyes ringed with exhaustion, pulled up a holographic display of the system. We've detected the Void Hunter fleet approaching from this vector. Their numbers are substantial. The display showed a swarm of dark, predatory shapes moving inexorably towards Zarthax Prime. The sight sent a chill through everyone present. Lieutenant Commander Marcus Wong cleared his throat. We've prepared as best we can. The orbital defense grid is online, and we've armed every ship we could with our hybrid weapons. But it might not be enough, Elena finished for him. She took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. It has to be enough, not just for Zarthax Prime, but for Earth and every other world that might fall victim to these cosmic predators. As the hours ticked by, final preparations were made. The Zarthax, once a purely peaceful species, now stood ready to defend their home with newfound determination. Organic ships, grown in a matter of days, thanks to the ancient knowledge, joined the Hope in orbit. And then they arrived. The Void Hunter fleet burst into real space, a writhing mass of darkness that seemed to devour the very starlight around it. At their center was a massive vessel, easily dwarfing even the largest Zarthax structures. That must be their command ship, Elena said, her voice tight. If we can take that out, we might have a chance. Before anyone could respond, the Void Hunters launched their assault. Beams of pure darkness lanced out from their ships, carving swords of destruction through the orbital defenses. Return fire, Elena shouted. All ships engage at will. The battle for Zarthax Prime had begun. The Hope surged forward, its hybrid weapons blazing. Streams of luminescent energy, a fusion of human plasma tech and Zarthax bioenergy, slammed into the nearest Void Hunter ships. To everyone's relief, the attacks seemed to have an effect, causing the dark holes to waver and distort. But for every Void Hunter ship they damaged, two more seemed to take its place. The darkness of space was alive with weapons fire and the silent explosions of destroyed vessels from both sides. On the surface of Zarthax Prime, Tylos coordinated the ground defenses. Massive organic cannons, grown from the planet itself, fired volleys of bioenergy into orbit. The Zarthax leader's form pulsed with power, but Elena could see the toll it was taking on him. Each use of the ancient abilities seemed to dim his inner light. Hours passed, and the tide of battle ebbed and flowed. The defenders fought with everything they had, human ingenuity and courage combining with Zarthax's biological mastery to hold the line against the Void Hunter onslaught. But it wasn't enough. "Captain," Yuki's voice was strained as she called out from her sensor station. "They're breaking through. Void Hunter ships are entering the atmosphere." Elena watched in horror as dark shapes began to descend towards the gleaming Zarthax cities. "Thylos," she called over the comm, "they're coming your way." The High Chancellor's voice was weak but determined. "We see them, Captain. We will hold as long as we can." On the surface, the battle took on a new, terrifying dimension. Void Hunter ground forces, creatures of living shadow, poured from their landed ships. They clashed with Zarthax defenders in the streets of the capital, the peaceful alien architecture providing a surreal backdrop to the desperate combat. Human Marines from the Hope joined the fray, their advanced weaponry proving effective against the shadow beings. But for every Void Hunter they fell, more seemed to rise from the darkness. Back in orbit, Elena realized they were fighting a losing battle. The Hope shuddered under repeated impacts, its shields failing. "Status report," she called out. Marcus's voice was grim. "Hull breaches on decks 3 through 7. Weapons are at 30% capacity. Shield generators are critical." Elena's mind raced. They couldn't win this fight, not here, not now. But if they retreated, Zarthax Prime would fall. Billions would die. In that moment of desperation, an idea formed. A crazy, possibly suicidal idea, but one that might just save them all. "All ships, this is Captain Rodriguez," she broadcast on all frequencies. "Fall back to the far side of Zarthax Prime's largest moon. Tylos, I need you to use everything you've got left to shield the planet for the next 5 minutes." "Elena, what are you planning?" Tylos's voice was weak but curious. "Something stupid," she replied, "but it's our only chance." As the battered defense fleet retreated, Elena laid out her plan to her crew. Eyes widened in disbelief, but no one argued. They knew it was their last hope. The Hope hung back as the rest of the fleet took shelter behind the moon. Elena watched the tactical display, timing it just right. "Now," she shouted. The Hope surged forward, its engines pushed beyond their limits. They flew straight for the heart of the Void Hunter fleet, specifically their massive command ship. "Divert all power to the forward shields and the main gun," Elena ordered. "We've got one shot at this." The ship groaned under the strain as it accelerated to speeds it was never designed to achieve. Void Hunter vessels, caught off guard by this seemingly suicidal charge, scrambled to intercept. But they were too late. With a bone-jarring impact, the Hope slammed into the side of the Void Hunter command ship. Its reinforced hull, further strengthened by Zarthax biotech, pierced the dark vessel's defenses. "Fire the main gun. Full power." Elena's voice rose above the chaos on the bridge. A beam of blinding energy, the combined might of human and Zarthax technology, erupted from the Hope. It tore through the command ship's interior, igniting a chain reaction of explosions. "All hands, abandon ship," Elena ordered. "Get to the escape pods." As her crew scrambled to evacuate, Elena stayed at her post, guiding the Hope deeper into the wound they carved in the Void Hunter ship. The bridge sparked and shuddered around her, systems failing one by one. In the last moments before impact, Elena allowed herself a small smile. They'd come so far, humans and Zarthax, former strangers united against a common threat. Whatever happened next, they'd face the darkness together. The Hope's antimatter core detonated, taking the Void Hunter command ship with it in a spectacular explosion that lit up the Zarthax system like a newborn star. In the aftermath, as escape pods were retrieved and damages assessed, the remaining Void Hunter ships seemed to lose cohesion. Without their command structure, they fell into disarray, becoming easy prey for the regrouped defense fleet. But the cost had been high. The Hope was gone, along with many brave souls from both species. The Zarthax cities lay in ruins, and the survivors looked to an uncertain future. As Thatailos and the remaining human leaders stood in the shattered remains of the capital, watching the last Void Hunter ships fleeing the system, a somber mood fell over them. "We've won," Xaios said, his once brilliant form now dim and weary. "But at what cost? Our world is in ruins, our people forever changed." Dr. Chen, her uniform torn and dirty, placed a comforting hand on the alien leader's bark-like skin. "We've survived, Chancellor, both our peoples, and we did it together." As the sun began to set on the battle-scarred world of Zarthax Prime, the survivors began to realize that this was not an end, but a beginning. Human and Zarthax stood side by side, ready to rebuild, to heal, and to face whatever new challenges the universe might throw at them. The Void Hunters had been defeated, but the galaxy was vast and full of unknown dangers. The alliance forged in the heat of battle would need to grow stronger, for this was surely not the last trial they would face among the stars. Conclusion: a new dawn. The twin suns of Zarthax Prime rose slowly over the horizon, bathing the landscape in a soft purple light. The ruined skyline of the capital city was a stark reminder of the brutal battle that had taken place just days before. But amidst the destruction, there were signs of hope and renewal. Dr. Samantha Chen stood on a balcony overlooking the city, her eyes taking in the bustle of activity below. Humans and Zarthax worked side by side, clearing debris and beginning the process of rebuilding. The sound of laughter, both human and the rustling leaf sound of Zarthax amusement, drifted up to her ears. A familiar presence joined her at the railing. High Chancellor Xylos, his form still dimmed from the exertion of the battle, but with a new strength in his posture. "Dr. Chen," he greeted her, his leaves rustling gently. "I trust you slept well." Samantha nodded, a small smile on her face. "As well as can be expected, Chancellor. There's still so much to do." Xylos's bark-like skin shifted colors in what Samantha had learned was a sign of agreement. "Indeed, but look at what we have already accomplished." He gestured towards the city below. In the distance, a massive hologram flickered to life, a memorial to those lost in the battle. At its center was an image of the USA Starship Hope and its brave captain, Elena Rodriguez. "We will never forget the sacrifice of Captain Rodriguez and her crew," Xylos said solemnly, "nor the sacrifices of all those who fought to defend our world." Samantha felt a lump in her throat. Elena would be proud to see this, to see what we're building together. As they watched, a small fleet of ships rose from the spaceport on the outskirts of the city. Some were clearly of human design, others unmistakably Zarthax, and a few appeared to be a hybrid of both technologies. "The first joint expedition," Xylos explained, noting Samantha's curious gaze. "Scouts, to warn other worlds of the Void Hunter threat and to seek new allies." Samantha nodded, understanding the implications. "We can't assume this is over. The Void Hunters might return, or there might be other threats out there." "Precisely," Xylos agreed, "which is why we must stand united. Our peoples, once strangers, now bound by shared struggle and triumph." As the ships disappeared into the purple-hued sky, Samantha felt a surge of hope and determination. The battle for Zarthax Prime had been won, but she knew it was just the beginning. There would be challenges ahead, rebuilding their shattered worlds, integrating their technologies, learning to coexist as allies and friends. But looking at the scene before her, the harmony of humans and Zarthax working together, she knew they were ready to face whatever the universe might throw at them. "You know," Samantha said, turning to Xylos with a grin, "I always dreamed of exploring the stars, of making first contact. I never imagined it would be quite like this." Xylos' leaves rustled in amusement. "The universe, it seems, has a way of exceeding our expectations. But together, I believe we are ready for whatever wonders or challenges we might encounter." As the suns climbed higher in the alien sky, Samantha Chen and High Chancellor Xylos stood side by side, representatives of two species united by circumstance and choice. Before them lay a future filled with uncertainty, but also with boundless potential. The guardians of the stars had emerged, forged in the crucible of conflict, ready to face the vast, unknown cosmos together. The end was just the beginning.